Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, I want to wish you all a huge welcome, whether you're coming in remotely from around the Great Lakes region or you're in the room. Welcome to this really important conference to help continue the work to solve this crisis of harmful algal blooms in our water resources. And you're in the perfect spot if you are there in person for that, obviously, after the Toledo water crisis that happened a number of years ago, shutting down your water because of the toxins in the water. And Freshwater Future, I am Jill Ryan, Executive Director of Freshwater Future. We've been working on this not as long as the Lake Erie Waterkeeper and Sandy Bin. They have been amazing champions on this issue, and we really thank them for allowing us to partner with them on this event. But we've been working on this for about 10 years, and it is, as you all know, a very difficult issue to solve. So we're extremely happy to have all of you today, including the experts that will be speaking, all the local folks who are working on these issues around the region, and most especially our partners at the Lake Erie Waterkeeper and For Love of Water. So we're extremely happy to be here. You'll see Freshwater Future staff around the room. Please feel free to call on them if you need anything during the day. I am sorry I won't be there, but I was not feeling well enough and I didn't want to infect any of you. So I will be watching remotely, and very sorry I'm not in the room with you today. But just a huge welcome to the conference. Thank you for all you're doing on this issue, and I look forward to hearing all our wonderful speakers. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Alexis. Thank you.
I'm actually going to turn it over to Sandy. So go ahead, Sandy.
Morning, everyone. And I just want to say that Freshwater Future has been an amazing partner in this. It's made everything better, including the technology and everything else. But working with Alexis has been kind of a dream person to work with. This has been going on for a couple months and we've put it all together. I really want to also give a big shout out to the University of Toledo here, the Lake Erie Center, Tom Bridgman and Rachel and staff. This is a really great place to be, and it's perfect with the Great Lakes in the backdrop. And here on Lummi Bay, it's like the ideal location to have something like this. So we want to thank them. And then I want to thank just the Lake Erie Waterkeeper Board and members and supporters for allowing this to happen and for being there for us and encouraging us to keep helping reduce the harmful algae in Lake Erie. I just want to say at the root of that, it's the change. I live, many of you know, right down at the end of this road next to Maumee Bay State Park. Oh, that's okay with me. But anyway, and we moved and built our home in 87 and enjoyed the bay. And all of a sudden in the mid 90s, the algae came. And, it took a while to really realize why that huge change happened so suddenly. And it was really when the dairy cows came from Vreebehoff and put the liquid manure on the ground that the harmful algae started. And so there's a lot of other factors. There's a lot of other things going on, but that big change is what pushed it to what we've been having year after year since. So this conference is focused on CAFOs and manure in the hope that we can come together in the Great Lakes for others having similar issues and concerns and meet after this and have a network to continue to build and inform and educate each other. So with that, I just want to welcome everyone and thank you all for caring about our Great Lake Erie and coming here and being online. And I want to turn it over to a story from Tim Bricker. As I've worked on this through the years with Vicki and Dave and so many people on the harmful algae issue and the manure and the CAFO issue that are so well informed and helpful. I was shocked on Saturday when I went out and we did a tour of where we were going to go on the bus yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to Schmuckerville. But I will just share that anyone who didn't get to go or who would like to go, we will have an afternoon, we'll carpool and we'll all go and see it because it's as much as BB Land and all the other CAFOs, they're all kind of in their own spots and they're a problem and they're a challenge and it's tough and they're big. But Schmuckerville is the worst I've ever seen. And it's in Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. And it's happened over 2 years so suddenly, so rapidly, with the world's biggest beef company, JBS, based in Brazil, and Schmuckerville, who got some money from a project and is able to go and buy land expensively. So Tim Bricker is going to help to tell that story to start us off. And then at the end, we're going to let him reflect on this and see how the elements of this can help him to kind of think through it and how we can think through it to help him in the challenge he's got in his community that ultimately results in a challenge to Lake Erie and the algae issue. Tim, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is yours? This one?
Very good. Our biggest problem is not necessarily CAFOs and well, beef CAFOs and Williams County or in our aquifer area, but we have the problem of the unpermitted cattle feeding operations in the St. Joseph River watershed, but actually it's the Shenandoah aquifer. In 2022, which is, this is really happening rapidly. The Schmucker Family Farms proposed a 8,000 head cattle operation in Steuben County, which is just across the border to Williams County. And that was a very interesting operation, or interesting meetings that they had at Angola, Indiana, where they were trying to, justify what they were doing. And, there was hundreds of people at this meeting. And ultimately, because in Steuben County, they have a community rights, so to speak, and that the people have a say in what's going on in the area. That's contrary to what Williams County have, when we have no rights at all. But they proposed this 8,000 head cattle feeding operation, and it was going to be massive. But in that particular area, there's like the Clear Lake, and there's many different lakes just across the border from us, and all those folks, they have $1 million homes. They're a little bit upset about this, and so they ultimately nixed the whole operation. And then it's going to be get rid of that. Yeah, the Smucker Family Farms, they raise about 150,000 beef cattle per year. Then we have yeah, the animals that they raise are very specific genetically. In other words, they're in a Holstein Angus cross, and they've been perfecting this over years, and the animals are at least from my observation, is that the males are black color and the females are a Holstein color. So it gives an impression that these are nice Angus cattle, but they are not. Where the location is we're in the far northwest corner of Ohio. And So it butts up into into that corner of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio come together. And we're about 400,000 people in this whole aquifer area. The yellow area is the Shenandoah Aquifer. And the problem is that the manure then flows into the Fish Creek area and then to the St. Joe River and then the Maumee River and then to the Lake Erie. Now we have 10, we've identified 10, let's see where this is the blue is the Ohio farms, and the yellow is the Indiana farms, but all these, flow into the Fish Creek area, going into the St. Joe River. But this is just a sampling. Almost on a daily basis, more of these farms are popping up, and we don't really know how many animals there are involved, but we do know that there's quite a number of animals coming in. Where's the advancement on that? Okay, so the stream flow from Eden, Ohio to Toledo, Ohio is about 219 miles, the total distance coming from our area, which is right into here. Then it flows down here to the Fish Creek area and the St. Joe River, and then to this is the Maumee River. But this is the St. Joe, or the Fish Creek and the St. Joseph River. And this is this illustrates the flow from Fish Creek to St. Joe to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then this is the flow from Fort Wayne, which is down here. And this goes to Toledo. And this is a really neat link to this particular, it's called River Runner. And unfortunately, I don't have a QR code for that, but we can forward that link to you if you want to. But this particular link illustrates the flow from a dynamic standpoint, as if you're following a drop of water from any particular area and then flowing to the ultimate source or ending point. Now, this particular slide is what they've been doing is buying this land very, very expensively, not inexpensive, but very expensively. And on this one, the property line goes right here. And this is one owner here, and this is one owner here. And it's all of one particular group, and that happen to be related. So I think this is a cousin, and this is the other cousin. And so then the St. Joe River flows right into here. And there is a lake here, but you can see that it's getting kind of funky. But this is a new construction. This was put up in April of 2023. So it's brand new. And the construction is that these are cement walls, and then the earth floor. So then the urine and such would go, the liquid would go down. Then the solids are well, they told us at the meeting in Angola that they were just push the urine or push the manure to one side of the building, and then another contractor would come in and remove it. But the contractor was just another relative. And we suspect, we don't have 100% proof, but we suspect that the reason why they're doing this is to prevent, going over the 1,000 animal limit. So one might assume, that this is what they're doing.
Do you want questions now or later?
Now,
I noticed on the last slide, you said, state regulatory agencies, and then you had a question mark about whether or not they approve of this. Do you know whether or not the state regulatory agencies are aware of this or
No.
approve of this?
No. It's on deaf ears.
They won't say anything.
No. To my knowledge, it's completely deaf ears. It's the wild, wild Northwest.
Yeah.
Anything goes. There's no, they don't have to get permits to put the buildings up at all. They don't have to have permits.
Because the limited liability corporations, that's legal.
No, it's because it's agriculture.
Yeah.
I see.
Then they can drill, in Williams County, they can drill agricultural wells, with no permits at all. I don't even think that they have to notify them that they're doing it.
I'm not sure about that.
But there's no permits necessary for agricultural wells,
Water well.
for water wells. And we sit on top of the aquifer, one of the largest, a very large aquifer. So all you have to do is poke a hole in the ground and water comes out. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but we're gonna hold questions till the end of it, so we get through the slides. And then we're actually, I think eventually gonna just have you put them on paper, because otherwise everybody won't get to ask all their questions, because it gets, we're limited with our time to make sure all the speakers get to give you the input. Okay, thank you.
This is the some of the aerial pictures that we have. You can see all this evidence of the manure going down to the ditch right here, and then that goes into Pitch Creek area. And this one is also, you can see the evidence of the stuff flowing out. The Smucker Family Farms developed over 300,000 beef in focus calves, and that's what they call the specific breed is called the in focus. It's a trademark species, or a breed of cattle. And the beef cattle are very, like I said, very specific. The Smucker Family Farms have been receiving over 3,000 calves per week. And then they come in about 200 to 250 pounds, and they're fed out to 600 pounds. And then they ship out 3,000 of these beef cattle to other feedlots. This is another view. This is a very detailed business relationship between the Smucker Family Farms and the JBS Corporation, which is this is a $12.5 billion business plan that proposes dire consequences for surface water, groundwater, air quality for the Mission Dale Aquifer and Lake Erie. All this stuff goes to Lake Erie, so it's not only our problem, but it's everyone downstream's problem. Just another example of the things that we didn't see yesterday. Each of these barns, there's hundreds of animals in the confined in those buildings. They do have some on pasture, but for the most part, the animals are in barns. So CAFOs are our watershed and gallons of manure per year. These figures do not include the unpermitted facilities. But this is our biggest problem, is that the unpermitted CAFOs, the numbers aren't there at all. I don't have numbers as far as how much manure they're discharging and such like that, but the figures here are with this. was close, but then, for the CAFOs that are in our area, it's 87,472,034 gallons of liquid manure per year. That's a lot of manure. To 87 million gallons of liquid manure would be the equivalent of a football field, 242 feet tall. That's 17 stories of manure in a football field. It's so. That's a yep, that's it. Yeah, these are just the samplings of the unpermitted cattle feeding operation in the St. Joe River watershed. Thousands have had dairy farms, swine, and chicken facilities also contribute to the surface and groundwater challenges that we have. That's it.
So we didn't have a chance to write maybe your questions. We'll do it verbally this time. Please keep them brief so anybody else that has a question can ask it as well. The lady that wanted to, please do it now. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, this is a very big problem for us, and it's not only our problem, but it's a problem for ultimately Lake Erie, because all this goes to Lake Erie.
Okay, your total number of gallons of manure over how much of a watershed is that? How many acres?
No idea the number of acres. I mean, that would be, those figures were just for Williams County. And that was for the CAFOs. That doesn't include, these places. Yeah.
Permitted.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what's up with the salmon farm that was drawing all the water out of the aquifer?
As a matter of fact, I do. The salmon farm, we didn't even mention that because that hasn't really gotten off the ground, but they were going to be pulling out 5.2 million gallons of water per day of water or aquifer. But that's a dead issue right now, I think.
So they're not going forward with it.
No, from a business standpoint, the company is failing, and they financially. They had a problem in that they didn't make sure that they had all their water issues taken care of before they said that they're going to do this. So the salmon farm it's possible that it could come back and get another buyer, but I doubt it very much. Yeah. Yes.
Could you just briefly talk about environmental changes that you've seen as these facilities have grown in number and scale, just from a living in that area perspective? Like, I mean, I know you got surface and groundwater and air ground on it. Like, what have you seen?
Well, from an environmental standpoint, there's the water issue is what they're, polluting the streams, but then and we don't know what impact they have on the withdrawal of the water, because obviously all these animals need a lot of water. So there's the impact of the quantity of water. But theoretically, we have a lot of water in Williams County, but not enough. And the other environmental consequences of the thing is the smells and the flies and the infestation and everything else like that. But the land application of the manure is the biggest problem. So
And the urine.
And-
And the urine.
and you're
Yeah, I mean, this area is just peppered with barns, unpermitted in something, in all the time I've been working on this, I've never seen before. And so, And the other thing to know is that most of the homes that are around these things are using well water, not city water, right? Because they're
100%.
100%. And you know, they need to test for nitrates because these are known to, in Iowa in particular, it's a big focus right now, where the nitrates in the groundwater are a major issue for health and for health consequences. So I would encourage, you're partnering with Isaac Waltley, but anybody who has a well to get a nitrate test now and then watch it over time. Because if we can document the changes, maybe we can help you in that way. And we're very committed. Well, we'll kind of show this at the end, but this is just an astounding smack in the face in this watershed of an incredible number of CAFOs, these barns going up without any permits, here, there, and everywhere, without any regard and any reporting. I mean, you'd think in 2024, we would have come a long way from this, and we haven't. So anyway, that's one more question quickly. Go ahead.
2.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm with this group, but I live in Indiana, and I'm reaching out to the neighbors, and I'm starting to get them to test for nitrates. We've got one test down right now, and it came back okay, but I've told these people they need to have their wells tested at least once a year for nitrates, but that is something that we are starting to do in Indiana.
That's great. That is absolutely one of the key factors, especially for health. We can't do much about the air because the monitors are expensive, but the nitrate tests are pretty cheap and
Yeah.
pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
And it's also, you know, you can get your county health department to do the same and to start questioning it and looking around.
I've worked with the health department in Steuben County to start getting.
That's great. That's wonderful. And, you know, hopefully maybe we can get the Williams County Health Department to do the same. That would be great.
Yes.
All of this Northwest Ohio historically would have been underwater parts of the year.
Yeah.
Because it was a swamp. And as we were on the boat in the bus yesterday, I noticed lots and lots of industrial farming in general. So my question is, it goes to this whole question of the water table and the interactions with both industrial farming and the CAFOs, you know, interacting with what is essentially a watery environment, naturally watery environment. Because the water is migrating constantly, just on the surface, just under the surface. So I'm wondering if there's any studies about the way in which the industrial farming and the CAFO are integrating in the water table. Not even necessarily through the stream, just through the fact that this is the water table is at surface. So that's my question, is like the combination of the systems and the interaction with the water system.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that what's happening here is obviously these animals need food, and which is corn. So then there's a explosion of, you know, the irrigation systems. So in each of these, you know, center pivot irrigation systems withdraw a tremendous amount of water, and there's many wells in Williams County that have gone dry, you know, because, you know, when they're irrigating, then the surrounding properties, you know, their wells drop. So
And that
eventually,
happened at a hog farm, a permitted hog farm. There were 20 area neighbors who had to have their wells replaced because they went dry because the water was drawn.